Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Channel Your Light. I have a channel for you that I have been receiving over and more in depth regarding this rare hybrid solar eclipse. This energy and this eclipse, the rarity of it is actually super important for a number of reasons. The first thing I want to explain to everyone is this eclipse season is predominantly directed, focused on eclipsing who you were into the life you are meant to live and your beautiful opening of your soul embodied on the earth plane as your higher self merging. It is eclipsing the lower self with the higher self. So this is a potent, powerful energy. Many of you leading up to this likely already have or are continuing to or are just about to experience what you potentially think is or feels like a dark night of the soul. You'll feel like there's old energies coming back in, new energies coming out. I'm seeing the Between Worlds card. You might feel like you have 1 foot back over there and also 1 foot up over here in your future. Eclipsing is such an incredible potent energy that we have a very rare opportunity to lean into and utilize. Most divine feminines, we roll with the moon cycles. But this isn't about the moon cycles. This is about this rare solar eclipse. So a solar eclipse and the ability to eclipse one version of you with another, a more enlightened, a more heightened sensitivity, a more conscious version of you is very, very important. So for example, somebody watching this channel, I'm sensing your energy, your left hip. There is pain in your left hip, which is associated with either a mother figure, a female who has money issues or a lack mentality or a scarcity mentality. I can literally feel it in my left hip. And whoever that is, you'll know if that message is yours. Please take what resonates. Do not make something fit. If it's not yours, leave it for somebody else. So this is very, very clear. We're eclipsing from scarcity into abundance, from our lowest version of ourselves into our higher self. So it's a merging of the two. We're eclipsing the 2 points, reconciling the first and second dimension. We're eclipsing that third dimensional conscious awareness into fifth dimensional conscious awareness, which requires us to reconcile the first and second dimensions in order to eclipse third dimension to the fifth dimension in terms of consciousness. This rare solar eclipse is on April the 20th. I want to be very clear. I am not a moonologist. I am not an astrologist. I roll with what comes channeled in as the divine guidance for those of you who are watching this channel, and of course for myself as well. So this eclipse is threefold. It's rare and it's a hybrid eclipse because it actually includes all three sections, 3 shadows of the moon. There's 3 shadows of the moon when it comes to eclipses. This is why it is a hybrid. You could look at it as first, second, and third dimension. You could look at it as shadow from the inner child, the mother, and the old crone. You could look at it as eclipsing the shadow of the root chakra, the sacral chakra, which, side note, I'm being told that's why that left feminine energy, whoever that's for, is on the left side. So root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra. So we're eclipsing those root forms of the physical experience to eclipse into that spiritual expansion where we're no longer operating from those low density waveforms and frequencies and vibrations. Rather, we're eclipsing into that higher frequency, that next level, the version of you who does things differently, who thinks differently, who addresses things differently, who feels differently because you're vibrating at a different frequency because you've eclipsed this frequency for this one. That is why, in addition, leading up to this rare hybrid solar eclipse, we have been having massive solar flashes. Again, I'm getting images of the Schumann resonance hitting 41. Solar flashes were associated with the solar plexus, the sun god, Cernunnos, all kinds of other things. So that empowerment, that self-empowerment leading up to this time frame is what's required in order to eclipse. So this rare solar eclipse allows us to take the last little residue or bits of shadow from the 3 areas of the moon, because what does the moon do? The sun reflects on the moon and the moon illuminates in the dark of the night, illuminating what has not been seen in the shadow. And this particular solar eclipse is highlighting all 3 areas in the 3rd dimension that has been in the shadows, the shadow work, the dark nights of the soul, highlighting and illuminating systems, people, things, ways of thinking that don't actually work for us. So here's why this is a rare opportunity. And I say it's a rare opportunity because it doesn't matter what happens in the energy, we're all affected by it. But the rare opportunity is your awareness that that's what you're actually being called to do, is to eclipse from all of your past, your pain, your trauma, your wounds, eclipse that into the version of you who has integrated, who expresses, who has personal power, who expresses divine love, who operates from that frequency of our higher selves. This is a rare opportunity because once you're aware that this is the energy that you can lean into, that means you can make a choice that aligns with that eclipsing of that new version or identity of the self. Because in the eclipse, the reason why it has to be 3 sections of the moon shadow that makes up the hybrid eclipse is this. In order to eclipse into this healed identity, the integrated identity, the higher self identity, the 5th dimensional consciousness identity, you must be able to label the shadow identities that have been hidden in your energetic fields or things you may not have recognized. Epiphany that's been hidden in the dark. That's why it's 3. It is threefold. It's not just a regular solar eclipse. Like, all eclipses are powerful. It doesn't matter whether you see them or you don't, the energy affects you. But when you understand the purpose of these moon cycles, the solar system cycles, the astrological charts, and prior to this, I'm being referenced. If you go to my website, there is a divine channel which talks about the trine, the planetary trine leading up to the fiery path of Aries. That was the pink full moon channel. I will link that in the comments of this video. That was leading up that fiery moon. Prior to that was the solar plexus, igniting it in order for us to have the oomph, I want to say, and in order to step into that eclipsing, because it is a choice. It's a choice, my friends. Everything's a choice. You can choose to follow that eclipsing, or you can choose to move back into that space of what you've always known, the old identity. How do you identify with yourself based on your past experiences? Because that's the identity that we want to eclipse so that you can live literally your best life, so that you can create with clarity, with purpose, with soul, because I'm a soul man. There's a song playing. With your soul, embodied higher self, rooted on the earth plane, fully connected to your I am presence, to the divine director, completely audible. That's important. So this eclipse energy holds 3 aspects of shadows. So you may have noticed this already leading up to it. Oftentimes with the moon cycles, a lot of people, you don't have to do something right on a moon. Yes, it's very potent, but most people feel that energy leading up to it, particularly those of you who are acutely sensitive or follow the moon cycles. You will feel that energy moving up to the rare event. You will feel it intensely. Oftentimes when it comes to moons, full moons and new moons, our psychic abilities are enhanced. Our intuitive skills, our intuitive sensitivity is heightened. That is also for a reason, because you're moving through culminations and cycles of energy, heightened energy, waning, waxing, right? It's all following those cycles. But the eclipse energy and the rarity of this one that has been set up on the earth plane. So I'm being told right now that this is important, and the reason why we've been cleaning house over the last few weeks, and that's also a channel on my blog from, I want to say, a few weeks ago. The reason why we're cleaning house is so that we have the space unencumbered and unchained, removing all distortions, removing all illusions, removing all frequencies that do not align with ours so that we can make that eclipse. I'm also being told to talk about protection of energy. So we're doing this incredible thing in our spiritual community. It's a 21-day spiritual expansion. And the most amazing things have happened in activations and healings and shifting. It's blown my mind. We are all in total awe in the group. At the end of this month, we will be accepting new people into our Channel Your Light community. So feel free to register or check that out if you feel like you need to be with the communities to support you, help your elevation, your expansion. So we're doing this experience. And one of the things that has come up frequently during this eclipse season and during when people experience spiritual ascension, protection of energy is very important. So the imagery that I'm getting right now, and I got this earlier too, is the egg. So if you have a baby chick that's growing in an egg, the egg is surrounding it. It's a beautiful white hard shell that allows the embryo, just like a baby in a mama's belly, allows the embryo to grow in a safe condition. It's a safe container for it to grow and expand. When we're on a spiritual ascension process and we're moving through involution for evolution, we need a safe container or a shield of energy around us to allow us to do that without interferences of other people's energy. Because when we are eclipsing or moving to new versions or identities of ourselves, we're often faced with old energies that can potentially muddy up the process, pull us back into that old version, trigger an identity so that we don't heal it. We just stay in the trigger rather than healing it and eclipsing it into that new version or identity that has integrated it. So shielding your energy during moon cycles, full moons and new moons, and this is also coming up as a new moon that is coming on the heels of the eclipse is what I'm hearing. The new moon is always where you're stepping out. You are checking to see if your seeds have sprouted from the ground. You are planting new seeds. You are sharing new. It's rolling with that beautiful divine energy of creation. That's why the eclipse is so important coming just before it, because we don't want to create from our old identity of trauma, wounds, neglect, fear. We don't want to create from that space. We want to create from this eclipsed new version of us, our higher selves embodied in the physical form, and root into the earth form creations that are in alignment with that fifth dimensional consciousness or awareness, a more elevated awareness or existence. So this eclipse holds a very rare opportunity for all of us. And it is only up to us whether or not we choose to lean into that energy and allow that momentum to build and choose to move with that eclipse energy and viewing things differently, looking at things differently. I'm hearing some of you are going to have the veil pulled off of your eyes so you can see the truth plain and clear. When we hear truth, it sets a trajectory that unfurls, unravels, unbinds the illusion. But then when we're smack dab face truth in the middle of it, it's almost like, okay, what am I going to do with that? Because this new identity of me holds this truth, but this past identity of me holds illusion. So this eclipse energy is taking those three shadow aspects of the self, your journey. And in addition, I'm being told very clearly, this is probably the most important for those of you who are highly sensitive and are already dipping in and out of consciousness, past lives, past, present, future, owning your gifts, all of those things. The three sections of the shadow of the moon also represent past life shadows. So some of you are here. Part of the first part of your journey was related to past life ties and connections, things that didn't get healed in a previous life. Those are the hidden shadows that are coming to light as well. So you may find or have found recently or in the last few months that someone showed up that you feel drawn to, but it's not a healthy relationship, or it's got a little bit of toxicity of it. It feels codependent, feels a little bit dark, but you're drawn to this person and they're drawn to you, almost like a hook in you, okay? So that aspect is related to, for most of you, not all of you, there's one person on here I'm hearing very clearly it has nothing to do with past lives for you. It's actually your light is so stinking. Your light is so stinking bright that it is like drawing in all the flies. Don't worry, my dear, the dragonflies are coming to eat all those flies. That's for one specific person on here. You'll know if it's yours. It's just people showing up to attempt to block or stop you or don't want you to do what you're doing or are jealous. So move them out, clear them out of your way. Just put them over there. That's for one of you. For the rest of you, there is past lives it's the culmination of multiple past lives that's happening at this time that's in that shadow, the three centers of the shadow, right? Past, present, and future, eclipsing the past for the present identity. But it's so much deeper than that. Like I'm being shown the cords that you have, the cords that go from you to this person, you're also eclipsing the cords from multiple past lives, whether it was persecution, whether it was trauma, whether it was oppression, whatever that was. And my goodness, you guys have a tremendous amount of trauma that you are actually healing from multiple lives in this life right here. This is the culmination, is eclipsing all of those things. We want to create a new future. It has to be based on a new identity, not the stories of old, not the cyclical trauma cycles, not the fear-based mentality. We must create from this higher self version that is embedded, merged, moves with the energy, understands its energy, and commands its own energy. That is the version we are all eclipsing into. Some of you have already done this, and this is just going to be like the icing on the cake, my friends. Just the icing on the cake for you. But it can be difficult and it can feel messy. The only way to hang on, I want to say, and is igniting that divine cord, understanding what the energy is trying to move you to, understanding why things have been removed, why people have walked away, and understanding perhaps why you may need to walk away or you may need to move. You cannot be this version of yourself over here that is fully embodied in the fifth dimensional consciousness and awareness, highly intuitive energy, rooting in the earth form, creating, abundant and wealthy. If you got one foot over here in the old world, the old you who doesn't have any of those things, that was meant to be food for thought. That was meant to germinate the soil, give you the nourishment that you need in order to step up into this other version. You cannot be both things. We are eclipses. One transposes over the other. And there's 3 cycles, 3 shadows of the moon. That's why it's a rare hybrid. So it's all happening at once. So we want to take advantage of this hybrid moon for a number of reasons. We get to release the poisons of the past. We get to remove the thought forms of others that have either been projected at us or have maybe stopped us from stepping into our power, or have projected into our energy, bowling our energy over. Everybody's is going to look slightly different. I'm being reference of Jesus and the shoes, the souls of your souls are being reignited. We're peeling the old souls off and we're replacing with a new divine crystalline energy soul. The souls of your soul are being rejuvenated, reignited. But truly, this is an opportunity to release the poison and rebirth and eclipse from all that was, that doesn't serve you, isn't what you want, into all that does serve you, is aligned with you and your soul's purpose, is reignited in your divine soul blueprint and spirit's whole thing, grace. I'm asking for grace. Somebody's saying I'm asking for grace. So I don't know if you have a loved one whose name is Grace, perhaps your name is Grace, but I'm literally seeing, this is so interesting, a freight line or a truck, and on the trailer on the side of it is the word grace, capital, huge. The side of the truck trailer is white and grace is written in blue, and the outline of angel wings is in blue as well. Grace Transport. I feel like that's a company here. Yes, it is. That's what I'm seeing right now. I call in grace. Repeat after me. I claim grace. I do not shame myself for not knowing what I did not know. I simply allow myself to learn, integrate, and expand from all that was so that I may eclipse and move into that new version of me, to take off the old shoes and put on the new shoes. In the Ko'osha'a, I have Toth here as well. This eclipse is a monumental, what is that he's showing me? So this is interesting. He's showing me the pyramids, and over top of it, the eclipse energy. He's literally showing me the moon and the sun eclipsing on top of each other. And it's at the pyramids, but it's at the tip, the top, the point of it, and it goes straight up. In that eclipse center, there's an energy going straight up from the pyramids. Pyramids of Gaza? Pyramids of Gaza. There is a beam of frequency light going all the way straight up out the top of the pyramid. And I'm being shown that eclipse energy is either igniting it, opening it, changing the trajectory. There's something to do with the eclipse in that. I'm not really sure what that means, but I trust that that's what's coming through, and it will be revealed in due time when it is meant to be revealed. So, and that's from Toth. He's showing me the emerald tablets and how different hieroglyphs are going, different hieroglyphs on the walls that have been imprinted with divine energy light up upon the wall with crystalline emerald light, and each one that lights up is only certain ones that are lit or touched or opened create the portal that goes straight up. It's only specific hieroglyphs. It's not the whole story that is inscribed on the walls. In the chamber, he's saying, it is all written in the chamber, but it's a secret code. He's saying it's a secret access, ascension codes that have to do with the pyramids, activates a portal in the beam of light. It's on the solar eclipse, and there's certain hieroglyphs on I'm seeing it all over the inside of the pyramids in the chamber. This is a rare solar eclipse. It is a rare opportunity to transcend all that was, transcend that which held you down, transcend that which hurt you, transcend your disconnection to all that is. That every answer you seek is inside of you, in your DNA, in your consciousness. We want to eclipse into the version of us that moves with steadfast strength, understanding our divinity and our I am presence, and being able to access the information that we need in order to empower us and empower all others around you. And I'm being referenced about buttons. There's something about buttons for somebody on here. So you could be doing up your buttons. I'm seeing a white pearl button specifically. And there's something about this button that is directly linked. He says in the middle of the button that's sewn on the jacket, there are 4 sides, and they criss and they cross, and they're all interconnected. So it's a button with 4 holes, white pearl button with 4 holes, almost like an abalone shell button, I want to say. That feels like it's just a validation for somebody who's going to be watching this video, that that's for you, or something that resonates with you, or something you are thinking about. It's not really clear, but take that message as it resonates for you, because that means Toth says this message is for you, whoever that is. That's your divine guidance. I'm also seeing, I'm also seeing a hawk. So somebody who I'm being referenced of Hawkeye, I have the hawk landing here. If you resonate with hawks, or there's something surrounding you about hawks, or you happen to see a hawk in this day or the next, at the Ge'isha'an, he's also showing me the hawk head, the eye of Horus embedded in the chest. Yeah, okay, I understand. So the eye of Horus is divine shielding and protection. There's a reason why we did the channel earlier. I will also link that at the end of this video with Archangel Zadkiel and Archangel Azrael, which is surrender and the death and the rebirth, as well as that Lyran consciousness that came through again. They came through last year in 2022, but that came through very clearly again. So Toth is saying, so Horus, correction, now Horus is saying the eye of Horus is protecting and shielding people's energy so that they may move through that ascension without that interference from their everyday lives or their relationships or anything that could potentially pull them back. That is part of the evolutionary process. particularly when there are many intuits and many people on a spiritual ascension journey that get pulled back. It does not need to be that way. It is, he's talking about the involution and the evolution. So it's like going so deep within you that you go so deep inside that involution that you expand outside as everything, the evolution. So one supersedes into the others. Same with the infinite, right? The infinity symbol. This channel is complete, I'm hearing. So thank you to Thoth Horus, who also I'm being referenced. That's the Hawkeye, the Eye of Horus, he's saying. I'm going to roll with that. I trust spirit 150%, particularly these specific energies that have shown up in the last couple of days to guide and to help with the ascension process and to help understand deep esoteric truths. I also want to talk about Hebrew. He says there are many what is that? There is a masculine energy of Hebrew descent filtering. Let me just put my finger on this. What is that, Toth? Hebrew. I'm being the scribe. If any of you on here, somebody here has had a past life as a scribe, there's more than 3. Toth is saying 3 people, you are watching this. You were scribes in ancient times. Hebrew, Christianity, and Islam is being referenced. I'm watching you walk through the stone hallways underneath with a candle as the scribe, dipping your ink in the ink well. You will remember once you have eclipsed. Woo! I really want to take advantage of this energy. I hope that all of you do. I hope the information that's been channeled through will help you move through this energy and literally grab hold of this opportunity, lean into that eclipsing. It's such a potent energy and it really is there to help us and move into that state of being of that which we want. It's very exciting. And yes, it can be super intense and it can feel very deep and all those different things. But I promise you, it is for you. And that's why we want to lean in. Do not be afraid to lose what was, for there is something waiting for you so clearly. And all you have to do is release the old. That's it. That's it. I am wishing you all a wonderful hybrid eclipse. I'm also wishing you all much love, many blessings. May you find ease and flow on your journey. May you step lightly. May your heart be light. I'm being shown weighing the scales. May your heart be light as a feather, or may the feather weigh more than the heart, is what I'm being shown on a wall in one of the tombs. May your heart be light. May your joy be exuberant. May your energy be so divine. Until next time, my friends.